Are you serious? Are you serious? We have information, breaking news really coming across the wire here, and very concerned. North Korea warns of a nuclear strike if they're provoked. And Trump's armada steams on. So here's the situation. Now, we know earlier today Trump said, you know what? North Korea is looking for trouble. And we know that Trump has said to the Chinese, you need to take care of the problem. The problem meaning Kim Jong-un and North Korea. Trump has even said, look, I'll even make a sweeter trade deal with you if you go in there and take care of the problem. So in other words, Trump is asking the Chinese to attack, to invade, to eliminate Kim Jong-un. But he says if China doesn't, he will. He didn't say he will attack, but he said he'll take care of the problem. Well, to take care of the problem, it's not going to be through negotiations, I can tell you that. Matter of fact, North Korean state media just warned about 42 minutes ago of a nuclear attack on the United States at any sign of American aggression as the U.S. Navy strike group steams toward the Western Pacific, a force U.S. President Donald Trump describes as Armada. Trump, who has urged China to do more to rein in its impoverished ally and neighbor, said in a tweet that North Korea was looking for trouble and the United States would solve the problem with or without China's help. Tensions has escalated sharply on Korean Peninsula and concerns that the reclusive North Korean may soon conduct a sixth nuclear test. And after Washington said at the weekend it was diverting the aircraft carrier strike group Carl Vinson, instead of sending them to Australia, he changed their course and sent them toward the Korean Peninsula as a show of force. We are sending an armada, very powerful, Trump told Fox Business Network. We have submarines, very powerful, far more powerful than the aircraft carrier. That I can tell you. Referring to North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, Trump said, he's doing the wrong thing. Asked if he thought Kim was mentally fit, Trump replied, I don't know. I don't know him. North Korea said earlier it was prepared to respond to any U.S. aggression. And our revolutionary strong army is keenly watching every move by enemy elements with our nuclear site focused on the U.S. invasions based only only in South Korea and the Pacific Operation Theater, but also in the U.S. mainland. Now, in spite of the military rhetoric, the U.S. officials have previously stressed that stronger sanctions are the most likely U.S. course to press North Korea to abandon its nuclear program. And at the same time, Washington said all options, including military ones, are on the table, and that a U.S. strike last week against Syria should serve as a warning to North Korea. The strike group is headed now toward Korea, including a nuclear-powered flagship aircraft carrier, the USS Carl Vinson, 2 destroyers, and a cruiser. Such a strike group is generally comes along with it nuclear submarines. And although the Pentagon does not publicize that, Trump is bragging, trying to send a message to North Korea that there are nuclear subs coming along with it. Now, U.S. Defense Secretary Jim Mad Dog Mattis said the deployment was not tied to specific event, but a matter of prudence. She is just on her way up there because there is where we thought it was most prudent to have her at this time. Speaking of the USS Carl Vinson. He said this at the Pentagon in a news conference. White House spokesman Sean Spicer said Trump had put North Korea clearly on notice and that he would not tolerate certain actions but dismissed North Korea's nuclear attack threat. I think there is no evidence that North Korea has that capability at this time, but threatening something that you don't have the capability of isn't really a threat. North Korea remains technically at war with the United States and its ally South Korea after the 1953 Korean conflict ended in a truce, not a peace treaty. It regularly threatens to destroy both countries all the time. However, North Korea has conducted 5 nuclear tests, 2 of them last year, and is working to develop a nuclear-tipped missile that could reach the United States mainland, presenting Donald Trump with perhaps his most pressing security headache. South Korea's acting president warned of greater provocations by North Korea, including a possible nuclear test. Given a meeting of the country's Supreme People's Assembly and upcoming national anniversaries, he ordered the military to intensify the monitoring and ensure close communications with Washington. North Korea convened a Supreme People's Assembly session today, once a twice yearly session attended by leader Kim Jong-un, and reported a successful national budget execution and personal appointments, according to the KCNA news agency out of North Korea. The agency made no mention of North Korea's nuclear weapons program or being under the threat of the United States of America. Saturday is the 105th anniversary of the birth of Kim Jong-un's grandfather, Kim Il-sung, and North Korea's founding father some 105 years ago. So Trump presses China now. Trump said a trade deal between China and the United States would be far better for them, China, if they would solve the North Korean problem. If China decides to help, that would be great, he tweeted. If not, we'll solve the problem without him. And Trump pressed his Chinese counterpart, China's President Xi Jinping, to do more on North Korea at a meeting in Florida at Mar-a-Lago last weekend. So, folks, this is how it's getting. The China's United Nations ambassador, Liu Jiayi, called the Korean situation tense and repeated China's call for return to dialogue with North Korea. Folks, it's getting ugly. And matter of fact, Stephen Ben-Danoon has reported that 150,000 Chinese soldiers have already moving toward the border of North Korea. Are they planning an attack on North Korea? Are they planning on first maybe air bombing, maybe Tomahawk missiles from their own aircraft carriers, and then aerial bombs followed by a ground invasion to mop things up and to take the Kim Jong-un regime out of power? Or are they planning to do this operation of elimination of Kim Jong-un and his government cooperatively with the United States of America? There is some debate that that might actually be in process. Well, we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we know that it's getting very dangerous and that we need to pray for our men and women in uniform. 22,000 of them are sitting right in South Korea, and we have naval ships, destroyers, aircraft carriers, submarines, all kinds of personnel in the area now. Tensions rising. And then there's Russia, and there's Syria, and there's Iran, and the war of words that's taking place right now between those nations and the United States. Are you saved? Because right now, we're closer to World War III than we've ever been in history. Give your life to Jesus Christ. For God said he would shorten the days for the elect's sake, for his bride, lest there be no flesh saved. And if China, United States, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and others start shooting nukes. We got a problem.